Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Hey, welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 75. Tonight we're going to bring you the main part of the show is going to be a review of Revenge. 25th anniversary of Revenge was May 19th. And that is, I believe that's in all three of our at least top fives.
It's
Dennis?
in my top five.
It's in my top three.
Yeah, maybe a top five.
Okay, there you go. Anyway, so we're going to have a pretty good discussion about that, but we do have some music news that we need to bring up. And I will start with, we lost Chris Cornell late last week. And, must have had something going on because I read an article earlier today that the front sound guy said that he was not acting like himself, and he'd been his front sound man for, I guess, a number of years. So there was some weird thing going on there, but he had noticed that he just wasn't right. So who knows, when you get to that stage and you're going to end up, if you commit suicide or whatever, I think you got some stuff jacked up in your head, but, just thoughts out to their family. And, rock and roll lost a good one. I mean, we're not, we've talked about it before. We're not all big grunge metal grunge fans, but, that dude had some huge talent and a huge voice that went all kinds of octaves. So it was kind of crazy. So
that and the fact of that he continued on. I mean, after Soundgarden, he went on to do other things, solo stuff, Hair of the Dog, a bunch of different stuff.
Dog.
Temple Dog. Did I say Hair of the Dog? Sorry.
That was Nazareth.
I was thinking about that Nazareth album.
Yeah.
But
and Audio Slave too. So.
Yeah, Audio Slave. But no, he was one of those guys where, like I said, I wasn't a big grunge fan, but he had a really good voice. And, there again, another one gone. So,
yeah,
that's boom.
That wasn't the entire reason that I'm going to Rocklahoma, but I was looking forward to seeing Soundgarden. So,
of course.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Rocklahoma, or do you want to? I saw the news that they've replaced them. So, did you see that?
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
you posted that, I think.
As you're listening to this, there's a good possibility that I'm on my way from Evansville, Indiana to Pryor, Oklahoma, because this is released on travel day. The band Live agreed to step up and fill in the spot that Soundgarden had taken, so they're going to be closing out Saturday night. And Live is one of those bands that they don't have a lot of songs that I like, but they do have enough songs that I like that I know will make the set list that I'm okay with the replacement.
So Soundgarden's not going to play at all then?
No.
They're not going to.
They were supposed to play last week at Rock on the Range, but of course that Rock on the Range was 2 days after Chris passed. So I think what they did at Rock on the Range was just a video memorial or something to that effect, but I don't think the band came out at all. I'm pretty sure that the tour ended right there and everybody just went home.
I say, do you think now?
That's a lot for them to deal with, and honestly, I think Soundgarden will be done.
That's what I was going to ask you.
His vocal range is so unique, and it's unique to that band that I don't think they can find somebody to replace him.
Right. Yeah. No, I was curious. I didn't think that they would continue on.
So more on the Rocklahoma trip. The guy that I'm going with, he and I have decided that. We all like to introduce each other to music that we may have not listened to or we may have not heard of yet. So I picked 15 albums and downloaded them to Spotify, and he gave me a list of 15 albums so that I could also download on Spotify. And I'm going to pick an album from my group that he has to listen to, and then he's going to pick an album from his group that I have to listen to. So we're going to take turns listening to each other's music on the way down there and back. That's going to be kind of cool. Maybe I'll get him to come on the show and talk about it and tell him how much he thinks my music sucks or whatever.
It'll be good to get two different points of view, right? At least of the music that you listen to, and then also, just the show in general.
Right.
So cool. Now, so that'll be next time, right? Next week?
That should be next week.
Is one of those albums Endless Love? Are you going to throw that one in there?
I might throw it in there. Y'all will just have to wait till next week and see. But
there you go.
While I did not get media pass for Rocklahoma, I got closer to getting a media pass than I've ever gotten before. I did
All
get
right.
an offer for a free general admission ticket, which I'd passed up since I'd already got the VIP package or whatever. But
Yeah.
one of our former guests, Kenny Wilkerson from Nova Rex, they're going to be playing there, so he and I are supposed to get together at some point on Sunday afternoon. We'll see if we can
Cool.
make that happen or not. I mean, because it's a madhouse for them getting in, getting set up, getting out, because they're all on tour and they're all stopping at the same place and then taking off again. So, if the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna have a few minutes at least of video with the guys from Nova Rex.
That'd be
That's
cool.
cool.
That'd be
That'll
cool.
be
Yeah,
cool.
that'd be awesome. Tell them
Awesome.
hey. Tell them hey. And awesome.
And I believe that's all I've got for our pre-show chitter chatter.
All right.
Cool.
And then we do want to give a shout out to all the people that died in the bombing in Manchester the other
Yeah.
day. And there there were some kids in there, and that's tough. You take somebody to something that's supposed to be fun and exciting, and somebody turns it into a terrorist attack. It's just ridiculous. So, but they got the guy at least, and
They got
that's
pieces of the guy,
Well,
and then they
he
got
got
whatever.
they got the guy's brother. They did.
Well, yeah.
I believe they arrested
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So yeah, our
So
thoughts and
that's
prayers
good.
go out to
Dad,
the
actually.
friends and family. That's an awful situation.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we got some more. Let's flip to a little more positive side. So
There
we're
you go.
going to every other. So Dennis, you got a buddy that put out a record, right, or putting out a
Yeah.
CD?
And I've got that. I want to make one real quick thing that I forgot to tell you guys earlier. I noticed on Facebook a while ago while I was listening to the album that we're going to be talking about here later. Motley Crue is asking people to sign up for their fan club and stuff. Why would they be doing that? It's on the official Motley Crue fan or Facebook page. They're putting out for people to sign up for this fan club or something like that. You think they're trying to? You think they're gonna break that contract and do something at some point soon? Nikki's been real. They've been active on Facebook and the internet here in the last 3 weeks, a lot.
Hmm.
I found that kind of interesting. And then, of course, everybody in the comment section was 300 comments long. Everybody's like going, "Don't do it." Vince can't sing.
Well,
They're all like, "Well, they signed a contract," and then the other comments are like, that contract was like a WWE contract. They don't care about that. So I'm kind of curious because I have heard and I've seen a lot of activity on social media with Motley Crue and official Motley Crue type stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what happens on that.
yeah,
So anyway.
that will be interesting.
So anyway, it just came up in my head.
I'm sure
Anyway,
they're cooking something up. May
Oh,
not be a tour.
they're
but
not
they're
gonna
cooking
be.
something up.
They're not going to stay. They're not going to stay quiet. I guarantee it.
Well, and I don't know. I would not. I'm not paying 50 cents to go see that again.
I'm
so
not.
I ain't
I'm
gotta worry
done.
about
I
that
don't.
at
I
all.
don't care about a new album. I don't
That's
care
over.
about anything. But anyway.
All right, talk about your buddy.
All right. So anyway, Robert Shane. He is our new bass player for Fifth Degree Burn, and he put out an album. It's called. His band is called Cursory, and it's called No Device. Is the CD.
Back
This
it up
can be. Oh, there you go. Right there.
a little more. That's good.
Right there.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
good enough
it can-
people to get it.
Yeah. So anyway, it can be downloaded. I'll put a link up on our page. You can buy it through his, I don't know, it's some kind of website or some kind of thing. But anyway, it's Robert Shane. He does the vocals, keyboards, and guitar. Tim Tolbert on lead guitar and vocals. Bill Smith on bass, and Joel Norris on drums. They recorded this. It's called the Shimmy Shack home studio, which is his house basically. And and I tell you what, and it's
Sounded
one
pretty
of these
good.
things. And it's one of these things. That's why I like to promote young people. To me, I thought I was going to get this. And it was going to be a screamo type thing. It's actually there's no screamo in it. Shane is actually doing all the lead vocals. The vocals aren't the best in the world, and I don't mean to say that Shane's not a good singer. It's just that I think they're set back in the mix a little bit too far back.
A little bit buried.
What buried? And what got me though about this album was the lyrics are really cool. They're not just your typical, silly lyrics, plus the construction of the music itself. It's not your basic 3-chord type songs. These are actually pretty interesting, you know, songs. You know, just for lack of words.
Well, they definitely had some structure to them, and they were different. I mean, they weren't your normal. I mean, he'd worked on it, right? So
Right.
you could tell he worked on it. So I thought it was not too bad.
And it's not, not like a Metallica song where you've got 18,000 changes, and different chord progressions. It had its changes here and there, but I was like, he sent it to me, and when I sent it to you guys through email, and I listened to it, I was like, holy shit. And I played it for my wife, Kelly, and she was like, that's really good. And she likes it. We've listened to it in the car a couple times. And, but anyway, no, I would give a shout out to Shane and all of his buddies and Cursory. And, like I said, I'll put up a link for that disc, but that's what we try to do around here. We promote because, our people are leaving. We need new people coming in that we can listen to,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. And then I've been at a conference in Atlanta last couple of days. The opening, kind of interesting. I've never seen this happen before, but Mark Schulman is a drummer, and he's played with, actually, his last gig was on the Billboard Music Awards playing drums for Cher on Sunday night. So he flew from that gig to Atlanta to be at our event on Tuesday morning, which was cool. But he's played with Billy Idol, Foreigner. He's done 2 or 3 Pink tours, I think, and it was really cool. And it was really a motivational thing, and it was really about really believing in what you do and not giving up, and taking chances, and it was really pretty good. I enjoyed it. And he had a drum set there, and they played some tracks from Pink. They had showed her on some video screens live, and he was playing along while the videos were playing, but they were showing video of him playing too in the show. And he talked a lot about her and about taking risk. And that was part of what they were talking about is, as leaders, you got to take a risk. And it was really very cool. So we're going to try to get Mark on the show too. He was, I talked to him a little bit afterwards. Really cool guy. Not very tall. I don't know how tall he is. I think he's like 5'9" or 5'10". He's pretty short. So
taller than me.
Okay, maybe he's 5'7". I don't know. Anyway, but he was a really nice guy, and just pounded the hell out of the skin.
For those of y'all who don't realize it, Dennis is like 6'2" or 6'3". Is that right?
Well, Bill's 6'2". Yeah, 6'2" or so.
I'm about 6'2", 6'1" and a half. So yeah.
So Bill and I are about the same height.
And I'm the giant here at 5'6".
Yeah. But we're gonna try to get him on the show. So
that'd be cool.
He was a cool guy. So, all right. So let's get into it. So
one more thing too, that Night Ranger album that you mentioned.
Yes. Did you listen to it?
I listened to it. I've listened to it probably 5 or 6 times. I really like it.
It's on Spotify, y'all. Check it out. It's really good.
It is actually real. I was like, I thought, well, let's see what Bill. So I was out there waxing the car, and I put it on. I'm like, after about 2 times through, waxing the car.
Oh, okay.
The car. But anyway, no, I really liked it. And I actually played it for Rod last night. I went up to his house for a little bit, and I was like, you got to hear this Night Ranger album. So we listened to it for a little bit, and he thought it was pretty decent too. And I was like going, yeah, it's one of those ones that it'll grow on you. And there's no Sister Christian, and there's no Rocket America song, but it's great music. It's good. It's solid. It's solid.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I was, like I said, I really do like it. So
yeah, well, thank you for letting me know about it, because I really appreciate it. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, and actually, anybody listening to the show or watching, if you catch something that's new that,
let us know.
Send us an email, post us, do something, because we're always wanting to hear new stuff.
Exactly.
All right, so the main part of the show this week is going to be talking about the album Revenge. Came out May 19th, 25 years ago. It is hard to believe it's been 25 years ago.
Well, that's 1992 for you, Dennis.
No. Yeah.
That's 25 years ago.
91, right? So it was very interesting. So here's the thing that really made it for me, okay? Because this album's in my top 3. And for me, this was personally when I had really kind of just gotten tired and bored with them trying to be something that's not the band that I really liked, which was the whole 80s thing. I like some of that stuff, but most of it I thought, God, just take the synthesizers and all that shit out. That's not what I want to hear from Kiss. And although it didn't stop me from going to shows because I continued to go because that's what I did. But this was the album before Revenge. So this is the photo from the album before Revenge, and this is
go that way with it a little bit.
Okay,
there you go, and back, and a little bit back.
Oh Jesus,
that's good enough.
That's good enough.
So this is Hot in the Shade,
right.
And obviously, the shades are important, and they all kind of look kind of cool. And this album, Hot in the Shade kind of did okay, not great. Tour was okay. I liked the tour.
Good tour.
Tour was fantastic.
Tour was good. The hits were awesome. Then you get in '91, you get this.
92.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
92.
That way again and back. There you go. Right there. Perfect.
You get this.
Yeah.
Or you get this.
Which I like that second picture. I like that picture a lot.
That's a great picture.
This is the band. I was waiting to come back because I refer to the Revenge album as the day the boys got their balls back.
Well, to me, it was my third introduction back into Kiss because, my first one was, when I first heard about them. The second time was whenever Creatures came out. I was like, oh, thank God. And this was another kind of thank God moment. Not as it was like the third. It was a little bit less than that, but you know what I'm saying? It was there again. I'm like you. They finally look rock and roll again.
And it sounds rock and roll.
Yes, it does. I agree.
Yeah. So just some tidbits of information that for those of you that don't know that are watching or listening or whatever. This was a Bob Ezrin produced album, who also produced a couple of other records you might have heard, right? Which was Detroit Rock City. And what's that other album he produced?
The Elder.
Just can't think of the name of it.
The Elder.
Because it never should have happened. But hey, we're just going to move on. And then they call it the Elder. I call it the shit album.
I want to have an all Elder show sometime.
No, not happening. I have 1/3 of a vote. Anyway, but I believe, if I'm not wrong, and I looked this up earlier, this was the last album that was not co-produced by Paul or Gene. This was solely produced by Bob Ezrin, period. Yeah, nobody else has credits. That doesn't mean there wasn't, but I think that is part of the reason this album was the way it was. Because it wasn't somebody trying to push their agenda versus somebody trying to push a band to be better. So that to me was very important. Obviously, you saw the blonde guy on the picture. So this was the first album with Eric Singer, which was kind of odd, right? Because Kiss has always had dark-haired guys in it. And his hair's dark now because now he's dressing up like somebody else, but that's a different day. But Eric
actually
Carr,
that's a wig. His hair is not that dark. So
yeah, I don't know. Eric Carr passed away too right before this album was done, and which was that was pretty sad. I was pretty sad about that, hearing about that, and pretty shocking actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and then Bob Ezrin tells Paul Stanley, "Hey, you need to call Vinnie Vincent and write some good songs again."
Yeah,
and
I was going to mention, I think he has 3 co-writes on this album.
He does. He has 3. He has Unholy, Heart of Chrome, and I Just Wanna. All 3 great songs. So I like that a lot. But the look, the black leather, the long hair, they just looked like they were a badass rock band, and that's really what I think we were all gunning for. We're going to talk about the tour a little bit later because I think that the tour is something that we all want to spend a little bit of time about. But let's get into the records. You guys want to get into the records a little bit?
Yeah.
So we're going to track by track, not spend a bunch of time, just to kind of giving everybody's opinion about each song, and we'll kind of move forward from that. So, all right. So the song opener, and I got to remember who this was written by because I think this was a Vincent song. This is Gene and Vinny.
Yep.
For me personally, if you had to write a follow-up song to God of Thunder,
right,
this was the song. And if they never play God of Thunder again in a show and they play Unholy, I would be perfectly happy with that.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. Actually, I would love to see Gene Simmons throw up some blood singing Unholy, because that is just badass. So,
Right.
and actually I don't even want to see him do that anymore either, because I've seen that before. But Unholy, and opening track, which I think is that the third time he's had an opening track on an album?
This was his first opening track
Oh,
ever.
first. Okay. Oh, first ever.
Other
Okay.
than Deuce on Alive.
Okay, so there's been two.
But it was this one and then Carnival of Souls.
Oh, that's right.
Those were the only two.
I got my threes mixed up. So, all right. But great song. The video is just really cool.
Well, I didn't even know Kiss was coming out with an album. I was watching MTV one day, and they were like world premiere. And I sat there and I was watching, and I was like, it's Kiss. And then the song came on, and I was like, oh my God, Gene's back.
Yeah. The demons returned.
We're going to get a good album. And we did.
Yeah, we did. Awesome. So what are your thoughts about Unholy?
I love it.
That's
okay. Dennis is being real quiet because I really don't think
what's wrong with you, Dennis?
He doesn't like this album as much as we do.
No, actually, I'm just being nice and not jumping all over the place. But I mean, no, actually, I like Unholy. Actually, that's my as far as as a Gene song, this song, God of Thunder and Hate are the three songs that basically define the character that he plays. And no, when this came out, I was like, oh my God, I was happy, at this point. And the look, like I said, the thing is, I mean, you got to this is the whole point, and this kind of sets up for the rest of the night for this, but I had Kiss had lost their magic with me at this point. I still bought the album, still went and seen him, but the magic to me had already left at that point. So, Kiss to me at that point was just another band, It wasn't until the reunion tour when I got like, oh my gosh, it's all happy again, that kind of stuff. So, but Carnival, actually, I like Carnival better than I do this album. So there we go, But anyway, no, as far as this song, I love this song. Unholy is a great song.
Well, I think it's a very well written song, and I'm sure between Bob Ezrin and Vinnie Vincent had a lot to do with that. The most humorous thing about this song, and of course I was unaware of it until a few years later when I went to that Kiss Expo in Nashville, and when I asked them about Vinnie Vincent getting fired, and somehow they got onto the topic during that discussion about Bruce said something about Vinnie took credit for writing the solo, and Bruce called him a motherfucker and all this. So, but whether Bruce thinks Vinnie's a motherfucker or not is completely irrelevant to the fact that this is just a really good Kiss song.
Right.
Yeah. I listened to an interview recently with Bruce, and he talked a little bit about that. So if you want to check that out, you're welcome to. But he did talk about that. He talked about him calling him out on that, and he does respect him, but you can't take credit where you don't earn it.
Right. Vinny's very creative. Vinny can write some really good stuff, but then Vinny also says a lot of stuff that he probably shouldn't. He's a bad person that writes really good songs.
And he's an egomaniac.
He is an egomaniac.
Yeah, he's got a lot of issues.
And unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of stuff to back it up. So there you go.
Hey, Vinny, do you want to come on our show?
Oh, I would love to get Vinny.
Oh my gosh, if we got Vinny on the show, that would be a circus.
That is never gonna happen. All right, so the next song on the album is "Take It Off," which great beginning of a song. I like the beginning of that song, and just the slow kind of the slow just guitar, and then it's just a great. I just like the beginning of that song. So, and that was written by Paul Stanley and Bob Ezrin, and then Roberts. I don't know who who Roberts is on there.
That's
what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
He was a guitar player for Alice Cooper.
Yeah, right.
A couple of tours. and a couple of
Yeah,
albums actually.
he's
Raise
that
your
little skinny guy that's the guitar player, right? That it looks like he'd pop your head off by flexing his bicep.
Yeah, he's the one that played the machine gun guitar.
Yeah,
Right.
so cool. But that this album or that song is I think that's like a lot about strippers.
Yeah.
That's what I
It's
think.
a good
Now,
song.
did you
It's a good
guys
song.
see? You both saw the Revenge tour, didn't you?
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
gonna talk
We'll
about
talk
that later.
yeah.
we'll
They
talk
had
about
they had strippers on stage where I was at. So,
yeah. In
We'll talk about
Evansville?
that later.
In Evansville?
well, I'm talking about it now. No, I was in Colorado.
Oh. Because we got a discrepancy that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we're
Anyway.
gonna talk about that a little bit later.
They've been
Um,
colluding. They went to the same
Oh.
concert.
yeah.
But anyway, it was I do like that song though. I think it's a well written song. There again, this Paul's voice at this point was probably at its peak. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't much after this. Once they got back together, a few years down the road, it's not going to be like this. I mean, this is probably Paul Stanley at his best on this album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, listening to it, I listened to it again today, and
He's
it
strong.
just
It's got
sounded really, really good.
right, and his voice is very strong, and he could hit those highs. He could hit he could hit anything at that point. And like I said, I think this was basically the pinnacle of his voice. You know,
Yeah, and again, 25 years ago, none of us
Right.
sound the way we did 25 years ago.
Well, exactly,
You know,
exactly,
it's
exactly.
not possible. It just doesn't work that way. All right, next song. This was Bruce Kulick, I think his first co-write credit, if I'm not mistaken, on an album. So
That's a very
that's
good
tough.
possibility.
Yeah, I think it is. Paul Stanley and Bob Ezrin also wrote, but another song. Bruce. This out to me, this was a great album for him. I mean, I think, like you were talking about, Dennis, I think Carnival of Souls was really another way for Bruce to just, this is my stamp. And
Exactly.
I don't think the Animalize and all that other kind of stuff, I don't think that was a stamp
No.
for Bruce. I think
Not
it
at all.
was in a,
Bruce,
I think they had
was
Bruce,
on Asylum.
Bruce in a box. I think they had Bruce in a box. So, that's right, because I forgot about Mark St. John. This album to me, I mean, the guitar work, and I listened to that today a little bit more when I was on the plane and stuff, and it was he does a really, really good job. He's a really good guitar player, and it's cool because I think some of the stuff he's doing now is because I've seen some video on his website too where I think he did it in Indianapolis if I'm not mistaken, where he brings a guitar up and plays some the backing tracks through an iPad or something like that, and then he's just playing the lead. And during the expos or whatever,
Right.
Yeah.
just it's cool, and he's so 25 years later he's doing the leads for
Right.
these songs that he's not playing live all the time now, so it's just kind of cool to remember all that stuff. So that's my Tough Love review. Alan?
I wasn't as big a Paul Stanley Revenge fan as I was a Gene Simmons Revenge fan, but I do like that song. I don't know. It's a good song. I can't discredit it for me. I've got another one I'm going to discredit, so I'll just say I like Tough Love.
It's okay.
I'm really not going to discredit anybody, so don't turn your
Right.
device off.
My opinion on it, it's an okay song. I don't jump up and down. It's going to be one of those ones that, like I said, Revenge is not an album that I pull out very. Actually, I was sitting there going, how does that song go? It's been so long since I listened to that album. I listened to it like an hour before the show.
Dennis
to
did the
kind of
same thing
refresh.
I did and pulled it up on Spotify.
Well, I did, and I'm like going, I don't even remember what this song sounds like. I have to think about it for a minute because it's not one that's on my playlist. I mean, I just don't. Like I said, I listen to it probably once a year, maybe once every couple of years. It misses. But anyway, it's an okay song. Not good or bad. Just it's a song.
I think the drum tracks in this song are really good too. I mean, I like
I like
I
singers
like the
playing.
sound because I like Eric Singer's playing. I think it's really, really good. It would have been interesting, had Eric Carr been around, would it have been this type of, and I think it probably would have. They play similarly, so, but yeah, I I like the drum tracks in this one too.
I want to jump
Sorry, Alan.
back to Take It Off for a minute because I meant to bring it up while we were talking about it, but Eric Singer did not play drums on Take It Off.
No, it was
Kevin
Kevin.
Valentine did.
Yeah.
Valentine.
Yep. Yep. All
Who
right.
actually
So
who actually played with the cat makeup on, right? He's the only person that's ever done that,
That was
other
Ed
than
Cannon.
yeah.
Oh, it was Ed Cannon. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Look at us correcting ourselves tonight.
See, that's
Go
good,
boys.
That's good. But Valentine's played on.
awesome.
He's played on a bunch of albums. Though he's played
Yeah.
on
He
a
played.
bunch of songs.
He played on a good part of Psycho Circus.
Psycho Circus. That's what. Because I remember I heard an interview with him, and then they were talking about how much he did. He did like a ton of Psycho Circus. So, okay, that's why the name was familiar. But okay, thank you. Now we don't have to get a correction sometime this week.
There you go. All right. So the next song is Spit. Another Gene song, right?
Yes.
So Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Van Zandt. I don't know who Van Zandt is. You guys will have to fill in the
Scott
blank
Van
on that
Zandt,
one.
I have
Okay.
no idea who that is.
Okay. It's kind of funny. The lyrics to that song are about this big. There's not a whole lot of lyrics to it. Wonder if that means anything. Never mind. Anyway, this song for me this is for me is an okay song. It's not. It's an okay song. It's fine. Not one that I rave about. Not my favorite song on there. But it's fine. I like it.
I love this song. It is funny. It is. I mean, the subject matter in itself makes the song funny, and then Paul and Gene do the switch up vocals on it, kind of like they did on Shout It Out Loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, all of the Gene Simmons songs on here, to me, he knocked it out of the park with almost every one of them.
All right, for me, Spit. I love that song. Like I said, yeah, even as much as I say the other one was just an average okay song, I like Spit. I think it's like I said, I think it's clever. It's a good Gene song. I like the breaks in the song as far as on the music. There is an album that we talked about before with Mitch LaFon had the remake of all the Kiss songs, and Mark Tornillo from Accept does that song. I played it for you, Alan,
Yeah.
on the way up to Bloomington, and he hits that. He just tears that song up. And it's good. I mean, he's got that real rough kind of gravelly voice. It's a great song. I like that song a lot.
Cool.
So I'll give it some credit.
All right. So then we go to God Gave Rock and Roll to You Too, which is a remake, sort of. I think one line or two lines got changed in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
but
the
Kiss did
verses,
this.
the verses are different from the original.
Oh, are they okay?
Yeah,
So it was originally
I heard it on Sirius XM here not too long ago, and I was like, "That's way more different than I thought it was going to be."
Oh wow.
So this is the
Yeah.
one they did for Bill and Ted, right?
Correct.
Right. But it was originally covered by Argent in 1973.
Right. So the one that's on the Bill and Ted is not the same one that's on this one, then?
It is a little bit different. I think
Okay,
there's
because I don't know.
there's a line. There's like one line or two that are
Right.
different, but that's it. It's not.
Okay.
Terrible.
Well, I was referring to
But the songs are
the
different.
Argent
Yes.
version. Is
Oh, the Argent, Argent
it's,
version.
It's way
is
different, And
Yeah, yeah.
Kiss did that once before on Creatures of the Night with Rock and Roll Hell,
Right.
because that was the verses from Rock and Roll Hell are actually a Bachman Turner Overdrive song.
Right. And I've listened to that song. It's funny how it is. There are parts of it that are close, but
Yeah.
no, I knew that the Argent thing was different, but I didn't know if the Bill and Ted's version was different than the one on the album that we're
Yeah,
getting.
I think there's one line. I looked it up earlier and saw that there's like one line and it's different. It's not. It's pretty minute.
I never even paid
It's pretty-
attention.
Yeah.
I am not a true Kiss fan because I don't know the one line difference.
No,
I'll turn
I
in
just
my
looked
Kiss
it up
Army
earlier.
badge
I knew there
tomorrow.
was something, but yeah, whatever.
To me, this song sounds a lot like Shout It Out Loud as far as with the guitar work in it and stuff. It's kind of that anthem-y kind of song, and that's what, I thought it was really good. I like that song. Of course, that was the one that they did for, is that the one that they brought Eric Carr in right before he passed away for the video?
That's the last video.
He's in the video, and he's also
not actually playing, but he's just,
He did sing backing vocals on the recording, though.
Gotcha. But no, that's a decent song. I mean, it's one of I can't listen to. I wouldn't listen to it every day, but it's a good song that when it does come on, I wouldn't yank it. I'd probably leave the volume where it was at. Just kind of go just listen to it.
That's the one that I would refer to as the pee break song.
Yeah,
Right.
but in concert, I thought it was really good. And we'll
Yeah, I
talk
did
about that
too.
later.
I thought
Yeah, yeah.
that because I was curious to see how they were going to pull that off, and it pulled off pretty good.
I thought
So
it turned out pretty good. All right, so the next is another phenomenal Gene song, which is Domino. Now, I don't think Dennis likes this at all. I To me though, I liked it because it was definitely Gene back to being Gene,
That was
and
definite.
the story about I got a
oh, that
man-sized
pitch
predicament. I just
bends over. Oh, it's like, are you kidding me? It's like it's
Okay,
the word.
Dennis, let Bill say what he was going to say. Mute your microphone.
Throw up in my mouth. Hold on.
let me throw up in your mouth.
Oh,
Ugh. That's even worse. All right.
Anyway, for me, I that's another. I like that song. I like the video. I thought the
I
video
know.
was cool.
well, you're wrong
And
about the video, but that's okay.
There's
all
a
right.
video. There's a video for that.
Oh yeah, look it up.
Are you serious? I
Look
didn't
it
even
up,
know there was
not
a
lick
video.
it up.
I will. No, I'll have to look that up. I didn't know there was a video for that. Official video?
Yeah. The worst
Really?
part about that video, and it's probably what ruins the whole video for me, is Gene Simmons is driving around in a convertible, eating fast food, sucking out a fast food bottle,
Really?
singing about
I've never
Domino.
seen that. That's
It's,
crazy.
I think it's a terrible video.
I'll have to check
Well, but
it
it's
out.
just kind of, I don't know, kind of like that "fu" kind of thing. It's like
That's
I'm Gene Simmons and I'm going to do what I want to do, and that's kind of what, for me, that was kind of how it was.
now that's the way Gene has always been. So
Well, it is. So for me, it was that's what it was all about. Anyway, so that's I like that song. I think
Yeah.
it's cool.
great song,
No.
shitty video. Dennis,
Oh, where do I start? The worst Gene song ever. It
Oh, it
doesn't
is
and
not.
and then they fucking put it in the unplugged fucking every time they do unplugged, they gotta throw that song in. It's just a stupid song. I mean, it's just absolutely stupid. I
so
mean,
what do you think of Christine 16?
I mean,
What
I
do you
thought it was
think of
kind of cool
going?
back then.
What do you
Now
think
I
of
think
going
it's kind of
blind?
pervy. I like Going Blind,
It's the same subject matter.
but there again, but Domino's just yeah. I don't mind it. I don't mind the subject matter. It's just a stupid song. It is. I mean, it's just a shitty written, crappy piece of shit. I mean, I'm sorry.
Gene, would you like
I
to
don't.
come on our show?
No,
No, we want Gene on the
Gene's-
show, and Dennis can
Gene-
shut the
Gene
hell
has
up.
wrote some great, like I said, Spit and Unholy are the two of my favorite songs, Gene songs. Period. But this Domino, I just fucking hate it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. Don't like it. It's my personal opinion.
Moving
Okay.
on.
Done. Thank you. I feel better now. Though.
Good.
Got
Glad
it
you
off-
get that off your chest.
I got it off
Well,
my chest.
Your chest doesn't look any smaller though.
Look, Gene, I'm rubbing Gene there. See.
Yeah, I can tell. All
All
right.
right.
So the next up is another. Is the third, second, third,
This is the second Vincent co.
second Vincent. Yeah, co-write with Ezra and Paul Stanley, which is Heart of Chrome. I like this song too. I mean, I really like almost all of this album, so it's hard for me not to like any. Again, I think the drumming on this song is one that really sticks out to me. I just really like all of this stuff. It's hard for me to not find one I don't like.
This is to me, this is the weak link of the album. And I think kind of like Dennis is and Domino, some of the subject matter in this song, you taped our sexy conversations and you sold them to the BBC. I just think some of the lyrics in this song are probably the cheesiest of Paul Stanley's lyrics.
But that's what they're known for is the cheese. I mean,
Well, that's no different than Domino, Dennis.
right.
I
I know.
mean-
I know.
But I mean, to me, this is and this isn't even the song that I like the least on this album. But I think this is the weakest song on the album for me.
Okay.
Hmm.
I don't like it either, but not for the same reason that you do. I think that the construction of the song is bad. The changes in it, it's just it doesn't fit together. You know, it's like I like that and then when it goes into the actual chord or the verse. I don't like the way it changes. I don't know. I just the musically wise, I don't like the song. The song, I mean, I can't, the words don't bother me. We're used to cheesy lyrics from Kiss, and the thing is and I think it's the same way about Domino. It's not that the words bother me so bad. It's just the music. I just don't like the way the music's put together. So it's not, I mean, it's not terrible. It's just, but I'm like you. I think it's one of the least liked on the album for me. So.
All right. So moving on to another Gene Simmons song, which is "Thou Shalt Not."
Yeah. Not as strong as the others, but it's still.
Yes,
a good
I don't think this is as strong for me as the others, but I do like it. The only thing I don't like about this song is the refrain where they say "Thou shalt not" like 3 times or whatever it is. It's like, okay, get on.
We got it. We got it.
As a backup stuff, but other than that, I mean, it's okay. It's not my. That's not my. Not. I like Domino a hell of a lot better than I like that song. So.
And I think this song is excellent because it permeates Gene's attitude. I don't give a fuck what you think. This is my life. I'm going to live it my way.
There you go.
I mean, that could be another Gene Simmons anthem as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But like I said,
Gene,
to me, this was Gene's shining album in the non-makeup days.
Oh yeah. He was.
Yeah, I think so.
He was basically
Movie
invisible.
star.
Well, he was invisible for very many. People wrote him shit. He maybe threw a song or two in here and there, but he didn't put his heart into it. I think this album he did, and that's why it's showing like it did.
Well, so talk about that for a second. I think by the time we got to this album, they were in trouble.
Yeah. They were in deep trouble.
They were in a lot of trouble. And you can read all kinds of books about that will tell you this did not help them. And which is Hot in the Shade. And they were in big trouble. And I think they may have had a little come to Jesus talk with, can you have that with a guy that's Jewish? I don't know if you can have that. Something else like that.
Okay, come to the guy that
smart,
I know.
Guy that you don't know yet. But anyway, I think that's what happened. I mean, I think Paul and Gene just had to say, this band's not going to live.
Well, and
one more year if we don't do something different.
And bringing that fact up, and we'll get to that when we get to the talk about the tour. The tour fell apart. I mean, it was probably one of the best tours.
Yeah, that's okay.
But there again, I know. But there again, I'm gonna I'm down.
Hey, let me tell you about the one.
Bill's going to keep talking. That's the problem.
Anyway, Kiss was in trouble at this point.
Yeah, Kiss was in trouble. All right. So, Dennis, what do you think about that song? You were good?
Yeah. Like I said, it was good. Yeah.
All right. So then we get to the ballad.
See, you're going to be surprised.
No,
with me on this one.
For me.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Bill, since you're the host.
The only Kiss song, and I think this is stupid. So when I was trying to learn to play acoustic guitar, the only Kiss song that I learned was I actually went and got the chords and got them offline and tried to learn to play was this song. I like this song. I think it's a good song. I think it was a good ballad for the time, and I like that song. I do like it. I like it. I like the words to it. I like what it means. I like it. I like that. To me, that's one of the better ballads that they've done.
Well, it is a well-written song, lyrically, musically, all of the above. But by the time they got to this song, I was tired of every Kiss album. Paul's putting a ballad on there. Because, I mean, with the exception of Forever, I don't think any of his ballads ever did as good as they should have. And by the time this one come around, I was done with Paul Stanley ballads. But I mean, I give it credit for being a good song, but that don't mean I have to like it.
No. No. All right, Dennis.
I listened to this. Like I said, I just listened to this album again. Like I said, I hadn't listened to it for a long time, an hour before the show. And I was kind of, thumbing through Facebook as I'm listening to the thing. And I actually stopped during the song and actually sit and listen to the song. I like this ballad. I think it's better than Forever. I think that Paul's voice, he's not just singing it normal. There's some feeling. You can tell there's
emotion,
a little bit of that gruff kind of, but he's not just fucking throwing shit out there. He's actually feeling the words.
Song,
seriously,
this song came from something that happened to him.
Exactly, and like I said, I like it, and like you said, every fucking album had a ballad on it at that point, and this is just their ballad for this. I like it, and like I said, I wish it would have done better than some of the other, like Forever, which isn't a good song, but this song is 10 times better than Forever. Actually, it's the best Paul Stanley song on the album. Actually, I'll go to that point. I like it a lot.
And keep in mind, every rock album, 25 years ago, had a ballad on it, and that's all people were playing on the damn radio.
Power.
I mean, that's the only way they ever.
What's your power ballad?
Yeah, exactly. What's your power ballad? If you don't have a power ballad, you're not even going to get signed.
There we go.
Oh, there.
All right, so next one. We got Paralyzed with Gene Simmons and Bob Ezrin.
I wonder what Alan's going to think.
Well, Alan's going to think it's awesome, and I'm trying to. This is one of those songs for me that I just can't.
I've got a good thing.
I don't really not like it, but it's okay. I don't even know if I could sing along with it on the radio. I mean, with it in, I don't know that I've got enough of it to go there. So it's an okay song, but it's not something that doesn't really do it that much for me. Okay.
Well, for me, this one was a fun Gene song.
Oh,
no, not the best, but it was just a fun song. I think the lyrics they're kind of kooky, they're kind of campy, but they're funny. Of course, it's another one of Gene's. I don't give a shit what you think.
It's okay. I'm a Gene fan.
No,
it's okay.
What I'm saying is that was another one of those songs that Gene. That's basically his attitude in this song. I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
Dennis?
All right. This song here really struck me kind of weird and kind of strange when I listened to it today, and I've noticed it before when I've listened to it years ago. The song doesn't fit the album. It seems like it's out of place for some reason. It doesn't sound like the rest of the album. It has a weird vibe about it. It's not a bad song, don't get me wrong, but it's almost like it was an afterthought. It was like something that, okay, we need one more song for the thing. What do we got? Gene, I've got this thing. We're just going to throw it together. Or I've got a pre-record. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't fit right. And I don't. Do you understand what I'm trying to get across?
When you say that to me, I think of that song being on Hot in the Shade.
Okay, because
that's a
right.
That's a Silver Spoon.
Right, because of the stuff that he has on that album, minus fucking Domino. Everything else on the album is pretty decent, and it fits that mold that they've built. Because Ezra is always about this. He wants to. But this one here is just out of kind of left center. It's just odd. And even when I was listening to it, I thought when it first started up, I thought we were at the end of the Eric Carr Jam, because I knew that song that was just kind of an outtake and whatever. I know I'm jumping forward, but at the first, when the song first started, I thought, well, that's not that song, but I think it's that song. That's why it sounded so weird. It's almost mixed, completely different than than the whole album. So I don't. It strikes me as an odd song, and no wonder it's at the end of the album anyway, because it doesn't fit. I mean, you wouldn't put this thing up, song 1 or song 3 or song 4. It's going to be, toward the end of the album. But yeah, it's not a bad song. Don't get me wrong. I actually don't mind the song. It just doesn't fit the album. But there you go. So
Yeah, and I think Alan was talking about that too a little bit. The unholy spit,
right.
domino, thou shalt not.
Right.
Those are really Gene Demon type of songs,
Right.
and I don't think this was a Gene Demon type of song. Or a Gene, in your face kind of thing. That's
for me. It seems like it wasn't written at the same time as all these other songs. Like you said, it's almost a leftover from Hot in the Shade or something that he had in his back pocket. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't. Something's odd. I don't know. I'd like to know more. I'd actually like to know why there's a story behind that. But anyway.
Well,
who knows?
Speaking of things, I missed another little bit of trivia. On Every Time I Look at You, the guitar solo was played by Dick Wagner.
Okay, cool. Which is Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper guy, right? And Bob Ezrin.
He's a producer.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but no, he's also Dick Wagner used to be in the Alice Cooper band, and Bob Ezrin.
I think that's right.
He played on Welcome to My Nightmare and all that. He was the guy that played on Sweet Pain, actually, wasn't it for Ace back in the day on Destroyer?
Correct.
Yeah. He just died here recently too.
He died in 2014.
So we are at the last song on the album, and that is another Vinnie Vincent song and Paul Stanley, and it's I Just Wanna. And I like this. This cool song. I like it. It was good in concert. And, this concert, if I remember right, Paul dropped the F-bomb like a lot.
Crazy.
It was kind of weird.
It was
much it was just this total different Paul band. The whole thing was there. And we're going to talk about the tour in a minute, but this song kind of was part of, this and,
Take It Off.
Take It Off. And it's just like, it was all back to that stuff back from the 70s that was just, all about.
Well, he never started dropping the F-bomb until the 80s.
Yeah, not really. I mean, even in the 80s, it wasn't much. But this would seem like it was a lot. It was like,
oh yeah,
more than I remember. But yeah, great. This for me, if you're going to end an album, that's a good way to end it.
Well,
and it's not like the 10th track because it sucks, in my opinion. That would be another song. But,
well, don't forget Car Jam.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's not that. That's true.
Right.
Because I have something to say about that. But anyway, or for I Just Wanna, I think it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek song. Obviously, the subject matter, but it's the most fun Paul Stanley song on this album, right next to Take It Off. So yeah, I guess what you said, I pretty well feel the same way.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Dennis, what do you have to say?
No, actually, I like the song. It's a clever written song. It was written for. I could just see them whenever they wrote it. Said we're going to play this in concert, and everybody's going to be yelling along, and everybody's going to be saying the F word. We don't really say it, but it's going to be said, and it's going to be one of those ones that everybody's going to really get into, and it's a fun song. It's like I say, it's a tongue in cheek, fun, and it's catchy.
I'd like to see them do this now.
Oh,
get rid of some of that crap and throw this in there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if they want to have a sing along song, so Paul doesn't have to sing so much, throw that in there.
Yeah.
Because
exactly,
regardless of what they say, a lot of people buying tickets are.
So they got to bring back.
They got to
bring back the meter, though. They got to bring back the meter.
Yes, exactly.
I love the meter.
Yeah. There
and they
you go.
got a ginormous video screen now, so we can have a ginormous meter now.
There you go. All right, and the last song off the album is Car Jam 1981. That was a tribute to Eric Carr. That was a drum solo that he had done for a different song, I believe, and they kind of used part of the drum solo, and then they kept it. This was just kind of in the archives.
Actually, it sounds like
A lot
off
of
of
that
the
is
East Frehley
well,
solo
we're
album.
going to get to that, but
Right.
It was no, no, no.
a lot of the drum solo stuff itself
Right.
was based on the drum solo that Eric Carr did live. You know, it's built on the Detroit Animalized show. A lot of it
Right.
is built off of that drum solo. You know, I mean, not the whole thing, but there are a lot of similarities in some of the fills and everything.
Right.
But you're right. The guitar
But
music
rip it out.
itself is it's not
Out.
Rip It
Dun,
Out.
dun,
It's
dun, dun.
nope.
Bum,
It's
bum, bum,
Breakout
bum.
off of the Fraley's Comet
Yeah, it's
album.
Breakout. Yeah,
It's not
but the
Rip It
guitar
Out.
stuff was done by Bruce.
Correct. Well,
Yeah,
I think the original demo that they got that stuff from was some stuff that Ace and Eric had jammed together. But
Right.
when they pulled all of that stuff out, they had Bruce re-record all of the guitar parts.
yeah, yeah.
But I love the fact
It's
that
cool.
they showed a little tribute to Eric. You know,
Right.
of course, Eric did help write Breakout. That was, he co-wrote
Right.
that song with Ace. So on one hand, I'm thrilled that they did that, but on the other hand, they ripped Ace off at the same time.
Right.
You know, but where do you draw that distinction? Because Eric helped write the song or whatever. I don't know. One
Yeah,
day
who
I
knows?
listened to it and I'm like, man, that's really cool. And one day I listened to it, and I'm like, it's kind of lame that they put that on there. So
Right.
So there you go, people. That is the
All right.
Revenge
That's
album
Revenge.
reviewed, and we're going to spend a few minutes, and that means like a few minutes.
Yeah. Where's yours at, Alan?
I never bought one.
He does have one.
I don't have one.
He's talked about that before.
No.
We're just going to spend a few minutes talking about the Revenge tour that led into Alive 3, which is probably my favorite Alive album, actually. One of them. It might be number 2, actually. Anyway, so this tour, so you want to talk about that? Because I know that
Yeah.
you're
Okay,
like,
it was November 20th, 1992, Evansville, Indiana, Roberts Municipal Stadium. Had Great White and Trickster, which is the first time I ever seen Great White. Really cool. Attendance was 5158. Says capacity is 7,000. That's bullshit because capacity is about 10,000 in that place. It was about half full at that point. Real quick set list was Creatures of the Night, Deuce, I Just Wanna, Unholy, Parasite, Heaven's on Fire, Domino, Watching You, Hotter Than Hell, Firehouse, I Want You, which I love that song, Forever, War Machine, Rock and Roll All Night. Now that's weird. And then they had Lick It Up, Strutter, I Love It Loud, Detroit Rock City, Shout It Out Loud, Gotta Give Rock and Roll to You, Love Gun, and the Star Spangled Banner. Says here in this book that Take It Off was dropped from the set list of this show, which is bullshit because they played it there that night. So I don't know if it was dropped.
is that because you recognize some people?
No, I just remember them because they were some girls up on stage. They had girls coming up on stage.
That's my point.
But you were there, right? You was at that
Yeah,
concert.
yeah.
Right. And there was girls on stage, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that Take It Off was in that show. Now, see, the next night they were up in Chicago. Maybe that's the night that they dropped it. I don't know, but I think
I
that's
don't know.
they
Look
missed it.
in December. I don't remember the date. Maybe the 23rd or something. Look for Denver, Colorado, McNichols Arena.
It ended in
Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah, the 20th was the last.
Denver, Colorado was December 6th.
December 6th.
Yep. And
Yeah.
it was it doesn't have any details at all.
So it was capacity was 12,000. There's nothing about it. Yeah,
It's Great
But
White Trickster, and the next
Yeah,
night was
that was
canceled.
Trickster and Great
canceled.
White.
The night before was actually a temporary hold date. There was another canceled. There was another There's a lot of canceled. Kiss. They were canceled in Mid South, Memphis, Tennessee. Well, that's when Paul received medical treatment.
Is that when he had the heart thing?
I don't know. Columbus, Ohio was canceled.
The hard thing
Jackson,
was
Mississippi.
when
Has that been later?
that was way
Jackson,
later because that's
Mississippi was
when
canceled.
Tommy and Eric were in the band.
Okay.
Asheville, North Carolina was canceled.
Did they say anything about the set list for the Denver show or
No,
just
it's
the
blank.
date?
Oh, there
No,
was
just
just
the date.
there's actually nothing. There's no information whatsoever. It doesn't go. I mean, it shows what he figured out, but this is. But if you look at all these places, Well, Nashville, Tennessee, they played at the Municipal Auditorium. That's that little round. That's that round place.
Yeah.
Capacity is only 6,900 people. They had 61. So we saw Foo there years ago. It was a sold out show too. But there again, like Portland, Maine, got 9,100. Tennis was 4,500. Uniondale, New York, capacity 13,000. They were 5,700. They were not pulling in the numbers at that point.
Well, Indy was 9,500 capacity, 9,500, and the attendance was 8,000.
Right, but Indy's a big show for Kiss, though. I mean, they'll pull some numbers there.
But St. Louis, so
yeah, 500, and half the place is done.
Yeah, and they recorded live 3 in St. Louis and Indy. They used the recordings from those 2 shows. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah,
well, where was Indy?
This set list was. I'm sorry, Indy was November 28th.
Okay. Oh, okay, I got you.
Because I went to Evansville and to Indy.
Okay.
I went a week apart.
Gotcha.
Because I think November 20th was like on a Wednesday or some weird date.
Yeah, it was one I took. It was the first time Rod ever got to see him. It was kind of neat taking him there because he's always kind of been like, Kiss ain't that big a deal. But he had a good time that night. Of course, it was neat because we walked through the back of Robert Stadium. We were walking back and could see down one of those aisles, and you could see behind the Statue of Liberty, you could see the skull. It was kind of cool. So we kind of knew what was going to happen there toward the end of the night. That was just a great show. I mean, the stage show was awesome. The set list was kick ass. They looked good. Right. They sounded good.
That was great. It
was one of those perfect moments, I thought.
I guess probably my best recollection of the Revenge tour, I went with a couple of my Air Force roommates, and one of my roommates, every time they play like Hotter Than Hell and Firehouse and Watching You and all of this stuff they hadn't played in years. And every time they play one of them songs, I'd punch him on the arm like, oh my God, I love this song. And he finally turned around and says, I swear to God, if you hit me one more time,
punch me again.
Kill you tonight.
The set list was just so different.
Right.
Yeah.
And they played a lot of different variety of stuff.
Yeah.
Unlike now.
Unlike today,
same 16 songs.
They're probably looking back going, we played this shit?
Yeah, exactly.
No, we don't play those songs.
We got to find somebody that we can blame on.
Exactly. All right, guys. That was a little bit of rock potpourri at the beginning. A hodgepodge of stuff. Potpourri. And then a good review of Revenge. And then a little tour review. So that's kind of cool. We haven't done that before. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that show.
Yeah, we're going to try to remember when these album anniversaries come up to talk about some of our favorite albums.
Oh, I can't wait till the Elder anniversary.
There is no. We can do that. We will do that. We will do that.
Well, the 25th anniversary of the Elder has long passed, so you're safe, buddy.
We'll do that. The next time it comes up for 25 years, we'll do it.
He'll be like the grumpy cat. He'll just sit over and go, okay, sad cat.
It'll be horrible.
It sucks. It sucks. It's horrible. It sucks.
Horrible. Next, you
all
guys
right, folks.
All right, so that's it.
Let's wrap this shit up.
Bill?
Yeah, so you can find us at www.agesofrock.com. You can find us on Spotify. You can't find us on Spotify. You can find us on Spreaker,
Stitcher.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a phone call earlier. I'm just kind of jacked up. So go, Alan.
Go on.
Stitcher Radio, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Ear Peeler. Till next week. Peace out, folks. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.